We need sharper details for these eyelids, and also for areas around the nose, and really help us define the shape around the nostrils. So how do we cut into the model? Because so far everything that we've done has been pretty soft. And that's the thing I really want to emphasize with you, is that it's soft and soft on purpose. Okay, I want to slowly introduce you to how to make it less soft. But right now, soft is our goal. That's what we wanted. What's your knife tool? Okay, your knife tool is going to be the standard brush, or it's going to be a brush called the Dam standard brush, okay, or Damien's standard brush, made for Damien. Damien's one who developed it, and did a fantastic job. I'm going to start with a standard brush, and then move my way to Damien's standard brush, and I'm going to divide one more time. You can see as soon as I divide, I got more to work with. That's what I want. More to work with, and I'm not going to go up to 1,000,000 polygons. I'm only at 185,000. Don't go any further than you have to. You want to learn to work with this methodically, slowly, and carefully. So, how do I start to get, say, a shelf in that lower eyelid? Okay, now with the standard brush, it's the same exact process we've done before, but I want to make sure that we're really clear with it. So you get a lower draw size, you're adding form, and then you're smoothing out. Add, smooth out. Okay, you can also press Alt so that we can, say, get a really clear plane change. So I'm pressing Alt, and then I'm going to look at it from a side view and smooth that out. Just like that. Alright. Same with the upper eyelid. Let's start to make this one dominant. So I'm going to lower my draw size, and it's going to overlap that lower eyelid and move off to the side a little bit. Come down in, and then I'm going to press Alt and push in underneath to help define the ledge. Then you can do the same thing, Alt, and push in at the upper to really define the separation. Okay, and then you press Shift, and you start to smooth out. You might have to push back and smooth out. Just like that. Alright, now we're running into one really important problem. Okay, we don't have enough topology in there. We don't have enough geometry for me to get a nice clean line. So I just turned polyframe on, and that was just by pressing Shift F. But there's not enough in here for me to get the detail I want. So you can either divide it, and then you'll see that with the division, I'm going to get a cleaner line. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more control. Or we switch our tactics. So I'm going to undo and go back to subdivision level 3. So I'm undoing, hoping that I have enough undos, which I do. So I'm just going to go undo, and there we go. Now instead of dividing the entire thing, I'm going to use a brush that's going to start to pull topology in for me, and that's Damien's standard brush. So Damien's standard brush, if we turn polyframe on, will pull topology in. It pulls the topology in so that it creates a nice clean line no matter what happens. So you can imagine we're going to press Alt, because its default is actually Z sub, and it's going to add the form and start to pull things around to get the edges that we need. We might even want to smooth out what we've done before and let Damien's standard brush really do all the work. So I've smoothed it out. There we go. Now I'm going to leave Z sub on, and I'm going to get that lower eyelid, the upper eyelid's down plane, I should say. Okay, and then let's get the upper eyelid set up with the fat pads on the top. Click in the neutral zone. Okay, and this brush will be really a lot easier to manage this caruncula because it's going to put the geometry in there, and then it'll be really nice to add this and just give me some nice clarity to those wrinkles. Alright, so that does not look too shabby. We still probably have some smoothing to do, so Shift to give it the form, and then let's press F to frame it. And I like where that's going. That's looking okay to me. It's very strong, so you can adjust Z intensity to start to lower that. Okay, I'm going to press Shift. Z intensity of standard brush is a little lower, so now the effect will be a little bit more moderate. And you can smooth out entire areas and then use these nice long strokes. Now, I'm using a Cintiq, so the strokes are like my arm's length. They're very natural strokes. This is one of the things that's really hard to do with an Intuos. No matter which Intuos you have, it's tougher to do this. Get these nice long clean strokes. But $2,400 is not always easily available. Okay, there we go. And then smooth out a little, add some back. I'm going to switch back to Z-Add. I'm manually switching Z-Add instead of pressing Alt. You can do either one. Okay, F to pull out. See if your convergence is right. It's not. Alright. We'll leave them blank for now. We can divide this further, and that will solve the rest of the topology problems that I have here. That'll solve the rest of it. And we're going to be at almost 1 million. We're at 700,000. So I'm going to drop back to subdivision level 3, and I'm going to work on this nostril with Damien's standard brush. I'm going to make sure I'm doing this from a side view so I have a clear sense. Okay, and in like that. Alright. Nostril, and let's smooth some of that out. So you see I've started to put some of that anatomy in, putting the alar cartilage. And then just smoothing out. Smooth out around as well. Try not to smooth out the form we just created though. And then a little nasolabial fold coming from the top of the nostril down. There we go. Separate the lips a little bit more clearly. Okay, I'm coming in very lightly because remember my intensity is low. My intensity is at 18, and that's less than the default. That gives me a little bit more flexibility working with these guys. I can be a little bit easier. Smoothing. Let's really get the corner of the mouth sunk in. And I had to smooth to get that, so I might press Alt, switching to Z sub, and just give myself a little bit of an upper lip, and then a little bit of a lower lip line. And I like to come in to the corner of the mouth and just add a little hit there. Yep, get that lower lip, the upper lip, sorry, moving underneath the nodule. Okay, I'm going to separate. It's again Damien standard brush, and I'm really creating a separation for that nostril. And I really want to round that nostril out. Now in this case, I've got some crazy form. That doesn't look too good. So take a second. How would you fix that? Or this guy here. What's going on? Here in the nostril, that's good. The eye, that's good. The lips, these are all clean, designed forms. I'm happy, but not the green. The green is some kind of strange bump. So the easy way to solve that is you just go back to move and adjust your draw size and just move it into place. So that looks good. Alright, and then in the corner of the mouth, I'm going to push back and smooth it out like that. There you go. Alright, smooth this out a bit, and now let's do a few adjustments. I'm going to increase the nostrils size a little bit. Yep. And I'm selecting the base where the nostril is, not anywhere else, and then pulling outwards. So that's going to just help get the pyramid right for that. Okay. Adjusting the shape of the cheek. And we did not do the nose. I'm sorry, the ear. And what is a head without an ear? We really need to go in and start to put that one in. One quick note. Really sink the eye in a bit. There we go. Really want depth. Depth is important. And we made the mistake of lowering this. So I'm going to just raise everything so that it sits a little bit better with the glabella. So the lesson there is, if it's not right, use the move brush. Okay, it's not cheating. It's positive thinking. Okay. All right. So there's a couple more things to look at. But a quick recap. Okay, we use the move brush for basic form. We use the standard brush to start to do some of the internal form. We divided it. Okay, well, I shouldn't say we divided it. We used Dynamesh. And we redid the topology. We just used Dynamesh a few times, and then we divided it. Okay, Dynamesh was down here, divide is up here. And then with it divided, we used standard plus Damien standard plus more division. And more move brush and all of that stuff. So that's the progress, the way that you want to be approaching this and thinking about it. We got ears to do, we got a few more things to do in terms of cleaning up the surface, and then we'll have a head.